Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a classic fable that really holds a mirror up to some of our most universal human struggles. We're breaking down the story of Cthulhu the Wolf. It's this gripping tale all about ambition, deceit, and, well, the true cost of absolute greed. We're going to extract the core moral lessons here and look at this as a powerful cautionary tale about what actually happens when someone decides the ends justify the means. And that brings us to the core question we're exploring today. Can borrowed power ever truly last? It's a question that honestly applies way beyond the boundaries of some fictional forest. Think about it. When you build your success on something you didn't earn, something that doesn't actually belong to you, what happens when the bill finally comes due? Keep that in the back of your mind as we follow Cthulhu's journey from just a regular guy in the jungle to an absolute tyrant, and then to his inevitable downfall. All right, let's get into it. Part 1. A dangerous ambition. So our story kicks off in the Moonland Forest with what looks, at first glance anyway, like a totally heroic act. Picture this. A rabbit is just minding its own business when suddenly a fox attacks. Cthulhu the Wolf steps right in and saves the day. The rabbit is obviously incredibly grateful. But Cthulhu's instant demand totally shatters that illusion. He actually tells the rabbit to go convince everyone to make him the king of the jungle. I mean, talk about opportunistic. It proves right then and there that he sees a single good deed as just a transactional token to buy absolute supremacy. Well, word of this ridiculous demand makes its way to the current ruler, the Tiger King. And the Tiger King summons Cthulhu and just firmly rejects it. He acknowledges the bravery, sure, but he reminds Cthulhu of a fundamental truth. True leadership has to be earned. You can't just extort it. The Tiger King points out that he earned his throne by actually protecting the jungle, literally fighting alongside the Blue Fairy to lock away a terrifying monster that used to terrorize all of them. This right here perfectly illustrates the massive contrast between authentic and artificial power. On one hand, you've got the Tiger King. His authority is legitimate, right? Because it's rooted in shared sacrifice and genuinely protecting the innocent. And on the other hand, you have Cthulhu's ambition. He wants the glory of the crown, absolutely, but he wants to totally skip the hard work, the sacrifice, and the heavy responsibility that actually makes someone a real leader.
Which leads us to part 2, the dark bargain.
So Cthulhu gets rebuffed by the Tiger King, but he is definitely not deterred. Instead, he looks for a terrifying shortcut. He actually goes to the exact cave where the Tiger King previously sealed away that monstrous flesh-eating red demon we just mentioned. Cthulhu knows exactly how dangerous this is, but he tosses his morals right out the window. He makes a deal with a literal monster, promising to free the demon in exchange for the power to take down the Tiger King. Take a look at the ticking clock established in this horrific little contract. Day 1, the demon infuses Cthulhu with unnatural glowing red strength. But the price? It's staggering. Over the next 9 days, Cthulhu has to bring one innocent animal to the cave every single day. By day 10, the beast will be completely free. Cthulhu is literally willing to destroy the very kingdom he wants to rule just to wear the crown. Moving on to part 3, the price of greed. Armed with this borrowed, dark energy, Cthulhu boldly marches right back into the Tiger King's court and challenges him to a fight. And as they clash, the Tiger King is completely overwhelmed. Fueled by that demonic magic, Cthulhu brutally defeats him. The whole jungle watches in absolute shock as their rightful, noble king is beaten bloody and forced into exile. It's this harsh reality check that, yeah, deceit really can temporarily overpower honesty. The really crucial point here is how fast Cthulhu's greed cascades into an absolute nightmare for the very animals he supposedly wanted to rule. Let's walk through his descent into tyranny. Step 1, he steals the throne, loudly proclaiming himself the new king. Step 2, he announces he's going to hunt one animal every single day. The animals are absolutely terrified into silence as he starts capturing innocents for the demon's cave. And then step 3 is the inevitable result. The entire jungle is just weakened by fear, oppression, and this daily, senseless loss of innocent life. 8. That's the number of days that pass under Cthulhu's tyrannical rule. For 8 agonizing days, Cthulhu feeds the monster. He sacrifices 8 innocent lives, bringing the demon terrifyingly close to its total freedom, which, remember, requires 10. The forest is literally suffocating under his rule, all while the true king wanders aimlessly out in exile. Now for part 4, the illusion shattered. You see, an empire built on lies and fueled by the suffering of others is fundamentally unstable. The foundation is rotting from the inside, and a reckoning is finally coming. While wandering in exile, the Tiger King runs into his old ally, the Blue Fairy. He tells her how Kalu somehow had the unnatural strength of a lion, while the blue fairy immediately connects the dots. Together, they secretly stake out the cave and catch Kalu red-handed, delivering a dead rabbit, completely confirming the horrifying truth of his dark bargain. So, the forces of good get organized to strip away this wolf's illusion of power. The blue fairy brings the Tiger King back, gathers all the animals, and just completely exposes Kalu's deceit. She reveals his strength is nothing but a lie bought with the lives of their friends. And they formulate this brilliant counterattack plan. The Tiger King will stand out in the open to draw Kalu into a public rematch, while the blue fairy hides nearby, waiting for the exact right second to strike. Kalu comes back to the forest and is completely shocked to see the Tiger King just waiting for him. Still cocky and arrogant, Kalu accepts the challenge and charges, but right as they engage, the blue fairy waves her magic wand from behind a tree, instantly extracting all of that stolen demon strength right out of Kalu. The Tiger King knocks him far away with just a single swipe. Confused, Kalu attacks again and just gets absolutely pummeled. When a battered Kalu asks why his strength failed, the blue fairy steps out and delivers what is literally the ultimate mic drop moment of the story. She says, "Because this time I took away all your demonic powers." And that brings us to part 5, Lessons in True Power. Stripped of all his borrowed might, the truth of how incredibly weak Kalu actually is just laid bare for the entire jungle to see. He's instantly and effortlessly defeated by the rightful king. Beaten and broken, Kalu cries out, begging for mercy. Right there, in front of all the animals he terrorized, he's forced to publicly admit his deceit and acknowledge that the Tiger King is the true ruler. Kalu's total humiliation powerfully drives home the core lesson of this explainer. Success gained through lies and borrowed power vanishes into thin air the very second the truth comes out. There's just no solid foundation to hold it up. So the blue fairy asks what his punishment should be. Kalu frantically promises never to harm another animal or ever seek the throne again, and he's given one final warning. But our heroes don't stop there. They go back to the cave, and the blue fairy uses her wand to conjure this massive, permanent magic door right over the entrance. Only she can open it now. As they walk away, they can literally hear the demons screaming to be let out, but they just laugh. Justice is restored, the dark temptation is locked away forever, and the wolf is left with nothing but the heavy, heavy shame of his actions. Authentic peace has finally returned to the forest. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this really provocative thought. What monsters are you feeding for success? Kalimbalulu literally fed a monster to gain a temporary throne, but metaphorically speaking, we all face similar choices. Are you building your achievements on the solid ground of honesty, hard work, and authentic service? Or are you making dark bargains, cutting corners, stepping on others, compromising your integrity, that are eventually going to demand a terrible price? Thank you so much for walking through this incredible story with me. Stay curious, stay honest, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.